Transitioning from public school to homeschool can be kind of difficult and kind of confusing. As someone who's done homeschool and public school and a mix of the two, I get it. Especially this year when public school can be kind of wacky, there are a lot of students who are trying to figure this out. Hi, I'm AJ from Homeschooler Goes Public, and in case you couldn't tell from the name of this channel, I'm a homeschooler. But I'm not just a homeschooler. I've done homeschool, public school, and a mix of the two, so I get you. Surviving homeschool for the first time when you've never experienced it before can be kind of difficult, but it doesn't have to be. And there are some things to remember that can make the transition easier. There tend to be a few big things that students have questions about. One of the big differences between the two forms of education is social interaction. Fun fact, contrary to popular belief, homeschoolers are not antisocial. Just putting that out there. But it is true that your class size will probably be a lot smaller in homeschool. Like, a lot smaller. And not having a bunch of your friends in class can actually be a good thing. You can be more focused on the task at hand, but if you really miss talking to people in class, you can always call someone and have a conversation about math. But maybe don't do that. Your time in homeschool will probably work a lot differently than your time in public school. For instance, when you take into account traveling to school, sitting in class for 8 hours, after school activities, then traveling home, you're looking at a lot of your day taken up. But a home education doesn't quite work that way. Because you're just learning at home, you don't have to travel somewhere to learn, you don't have to travel from class to class, there's no taking attendance, you don't have to walk behind slow people in the halls, just saying. And there's no travel time back. And plus, most homeschoolers I know finish their classwork in a lot less time than if they were in public school, because you can just work at your own pace rather than the pace of a teacher or the class. So it's really individualized. Finishing your schoolwork more efficiently gives you more free time, whether that's a hobby or video games, whatever. And along with hobbies and other interests, there's also the topic of elective classes. Now, depending on the kind of curriculum you use and the homeschooling laws in your state, this can look a little differently, but regardless of the classes you're required to take, homeschool can allow you to spend time learning something you're passionate about. For instance, I really love making music and singing, and when I'm in public school, I'm very passionate about taking part in choir. But it's kind of hard to do a homeschool choir with just yourself, so that's where you can really train solo. Work on what you need and what's best for you. Not being able to participate in some of your favorite school electives can be a hard thing. But if you get creative, you can really find a good alternative, one that will likely help you a lot more personally. And just like with electives, there's also sports. And again, depending on the laws in your state and district, you may or may not be able to participate in school sports. But if you're normally someone who participates in the school soccer team but can't, you have a few options. Maybe you participate in a community team or other organization, or you can just drill the things that you need to work on. Maybe you want to get really good at your goal shots this year, so you just drill them over and over. All in all, a homeschool education can really allow you to hone in on the things that you need to work on individually. On another note, remember that you won't have 7 or 8 different teachers. Probably your main teacher will be yourself. Maybe being your own teacher sounds awesome, or it freaks you out. Either way, you just gotta keep yourself on track. Some people are really good at that and others aren't. But really, you should just train yourself to stay on task, get your work done, so that you're free to do whatever. If you have trouble staying on task and getting your work done efficiently, then maybe tell yourself that after you finish your science lesson, you'll be able to eat some pretzels. Personally, that always works for me. There's no shame in bribing yourself. Anyway, just find out what works for you and stick to it. And if you have more questions or concerns about surviving homeschool, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Those are some of the big things to keep in mind, but there are other small things too. For instance, you can eat food whenever you'd like in homeschool, instead of having to cram all your eating in a half an hour middle of the day. You also shouldn't have to wait in lunch line. Personally, I love food, and I really enjoy having snacks and eating while doing my work. Also, your PJs. In public school, you probably had one 24-hour period where you got to wear pajamas to school. But forget about that, because in homeschool, you can probably wear pajamas more than that. You don't really have to keep up appearances for anyone, so if you feel more comfy in pajamas, so be it. And who knows, maybe wearing your pajamas makes your work way easier. You probably also won't have regular fire drills. You're welcome. And no school dances. You might be incredibly excited about that, or shattered. But there's also nothing keeping you from having a little dance party in your room. Just saying. Also in homeschool, it's a lot easier to avoid people than in public school, in case you were wondering. Also, like I said, just because you're a homeschooler doesn't magically mean you're antisocial. And if you feel like you're lacking in social interaction, so you've probably been lacking in social interaction the last several months in quarantine, so you might want to make some homeschooler friends. You'd be surprised about how many homeschoolers there probably are in your area. Or you can always connect with them online. You might even be able to connect with a homeschooler here on Homeschooler Goes Public. Just saying. You know. Or if you do have a homeschooler friend, you can also tell them about this channel. Just saying. And if you feel like you have too much extra time or you're really bored, find a new hobby. Find something else to focus your time on. If you need an idea, I did make a video about 100 things to learn in quarantine, and I'll link it up here. And like I said earlier, feel free to ask me about any questions or concerns you have about homeschool life. Leave them in the comments below because I'd love to talk to you. And if you got value out of this video, please smash that like button. If you'd like to see more videos just like this or absolutely nothing like this, hit that red subscribe button down below. This year will probably be very big for you and a big transition too. But homeschooling can be a huge opportunity for you if you just choose to use it. Once again, I'm AJ from Homeschooler Goes Public, and I'll see you later. Bye. Blooper! I don't know about y'all, but wearing pajamas makes work a lot easier. I love food. Food is kind of the best. You guys can't even see my little paper notes. They're out of the shot, so you don't even know they're there. This is my second time filming this video. There have been multiple bumps in the road. This is actually my second time filming it. Last time I filmed it, I literally had to say everything 3 or 4 times because I just couldn't English. And today my camera battery ran out, so this has been fun. About homeschooling, leave them in the comments below, or if you just want to complain about homeschool. I shouldn't say that. Hi, I'm... Okay. You don't have to walk behind slow people in the halls, which is kind of the worst thing ever. I love me some pretzels. Comments below because I'd love to talk to you.